Hello out there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Altcoin Buzz Trading. I'm still Randy, and we're still talking about BTC. We're also going to talk about Perpetual and Unifi. All right, so let's get right to it. Bitcoin yesterday did find some of that support that we were discussing. Let me go down to the smaller time frame here for you guys. Let's go to my 2-hour time frame. And what we're going to notice is that we have our bottoming candle that we talked about. We did try to rally up through this resistance line. We're able to hold up there for a little bit, but understanding price action, you understand that when you have price that goes up and comes all the way back down, that's usually what's called distribution. And so we got distributed in there yesterday, even at a very low level. We didn't even really rally up towards the recent highs from a week and a half ago, and then we rolled right on over, leading us to being back in the middle of this choppy pattern. We've been talking about how generally weak Bitcoin has been and how it's been unable to drop, and now you can see how it's also kind of unable to pop. Eventually, what's going to happen is one of these whales is finally going to strike a determining blow, knocking the other one off of the perch. Right now, they're in parity. They're kind of splashing each other with their fins a little bit, but no one's really taking out their tail and slamming the water. And we need to see that before we can really take any big market directional move. At this point in time, we're just wearing out this consolidation. Now, going back to the daily chart, we can clearly see that the consolidation is in a downtrend fashion. We've broken this trend line, and we had a large move lower, consolidating over the past, almost a month now, 3 weeks going on. So Bitcoin is in a weak position. It's unable to rally. It just seems like it's a matter of time before it fails. And that's what price action can lead you to, right? There's different ways to look at the market. And I'm looking at it right now from a price action perspective. What is the action of every candles and the, adding all those candles together? What does that mean for the market? Well, it essentially means that right now we're not very strong. And I think yesterday's flip-de-doo kind of pointed to that. We went up, we came back down, couldn't go up very far, and we're right back down in the mix. So we could see a move sooner rather than later. We've been waiting for a move, but that strength the other day held us up. And it's kind of gone at this moment in time. Technically it's still there. Let me dig down a little bit. It's still there. We still haven't undercut that low. We do need to undercut that low. That is an important part of this. If that low still holds up, it means the bears just really aren't around that much. One day they may step in, but we have to wait for this consolidation. I know it sucks to wait, but you have to. You really don't have another choice. Let's think about the other choices. Well, you could buy, right? You could buy, and a wise thing to do if you just wanted to buy because you didn't want to wait, you could put a stop loss underneath this area at about the 25,306 and then get stopped out. That's something you could do. If you want to short, you could do the same thing, but your bias is actually a lot higher right now. If you want it, I would argue your stop for a short should be at about the 28,225, right? But that's a little wide at this moment in time. That's about 9.25%. That's a little too wide of a stop. You could try to put it over the resistance we just found yesterday, whatever you want to call that, at the 26,470. That's something you could do. But either way, you're just asking to get stopped out. All these stop out points. And when I trade, I do believe you should take a stop first approach. And at this moment in time, all these stops are in danger. They're all in danger. So you kind of have to wait for the break, for the directional move, for the breakout. Otherwise, you're literally guessing because you don't know which way it's going to go. All right. So with BTC out of the way, let's take a look at Perpetual. And this is one we've actually been following on my other channel on my show here. We had an alert at the 855.82, and today I added an alert at the 118. I figure I would share it with you guys here today. So let's describe what's going on here. Fundamentally, I don't know. I don't know what's going on fundamentally. I actually have perp on my other screen over here, and I didn't see a lot. So even fundamentally, I have no idea why this thing's running. But it's running, okay? And that's an interesting thing because in this market, this is highly, highly unusual. Perp was setting up really good over here. This is a really good bullish setup. Guys, when we get into more bullish markets, I'm really hoping to show you stuff like this. What I've been having to show you kind of sucks. in reality, I mean, there's potential trades every day in the markets. There are. But the ones that are out there right now kind of suck. This one didn't suck, and it still doesn't suck. It's getting a little weaker to the upside, and we'll show you that. But I'm hoping to show you more stuff like this. This is what I want to show you. I don't want to show you inverted cup and handles. That's not fun. So, but this is a nice consolidation. Big rally up, good volume. Look at the volume. It goes from nothing to just gargantuan volume, and then holds up in a nice consolidation, breaks out in good volume, and then this is classical bull market trading right here. Very classical stuff. So what we're in right now, and let's keep in mind I am on the 2-hour time frame. This thing will end at some point. I don't know when, but if volume increases out of this 118 alert level, then from that perspective, if volume increases, we could continue this. But let's go through the trade. So the trade right now, and this will change throughout the day, and we'll go through that as well. So let's grab our long trade, and I'm going to put it right on my 118 as usual. It actually has a pretty good stop as it is. 14%. Wow, that's pretty deep from a percentage perspective. Hopefully, if this thing does break out, we'll find another anchor point. And we've covered this a lot in the past couple of days, how to move this stop loss. I spent a lot of time on that, and you guys may be bored with it. You may think it's not valuable, but it is. So try to learn how to place a good stop loss, and you will improve dramatically your trading, because when you have a good stop loss, you're able to make more bets. All right. So we're also going to take our traditional measured move. So we have a breakout move here to the consolidation top. So that's going to be our measured move, is the leg up. And technically that should be to the high. It should be a 1-to-1 move. So that's what I'm going to do, because this looks pretty good. That is a 53% move. Even with a wide stop, you have a 3.76 risk-reward ratio. That's not too bad. The only problem is the 14%. Because the risk is abnormally large, what you want to do here, if it were to break out in the next candle or two, what you want to do is cut your position size in half. When you do that, you effectively give yourself a 7% stop loss. And that is about where you want to be. You don't want to go larger than an 8% stop loss. And that does depend on a number of factors. If you guys want, leave me a comment down below if you want me to do a show or a little series on money management. I can do that. And there's a couple of different good ways to manage your portfolio so you don't make abnormally large losses. That's something you want to avoid at all costs. Abnormally large losses murder portfolios. All right. So that's what we're dealing with right now. But, you know, if we are able to find a situation where we come down and then chop along the trend line a little bit here, if you can find a little shelf of support, then what we can do is we can raise this up and have a bit of a better stop loss at 8.3%. But still the percentages are very wide, but you end up with a much better risk reward ratio. Now, I'll go ahead and, so my 118 here is kind of the entry point. 108 is your, well, that's my adjusted stop loss. Let's go to the non-adjusted stop loss. Brings us down here to the 1017 level. And your target up here is the 182 essentially. Now remember, a 75% is a hit for me when it comes to this, measured moves. So that would be 165. So you're really looking at about 165, and from there you really got to pay attention and try to, you know, take as much profit as you can out of this. But that's the trade right there. Take a screenshot, whatever you want to do with it. But this is a potential. Now let's look at how this can fail. So let's get rid of my little squiggles here. One way this can fail is it fails at the high here, which is at about the 124. 124.80 is the high here. It could fail right at the high, in which case that means this coin's lost a lot of strength and it could just could just die in a road. Okay. One thing I don't like about this coin though is it does look like it is already losing a little bit of momentum. So this is not a bad way to handle this trend line, but it needs to go sideways. It can't go much lower. If this goes much lower, it's in danger of just completely losing its trend. Now, let's be reminded, this is an outlier in this market. There's not a lot of coins doing this, printing good signatures, okay? So this is an outlier. So the fact it's already losing a little bit of strength while it is what's the word I'm looking for here? It is concerning. That's the word I'm looking for. While it is concerning, it's not a deal breaker because we're going sideways through the trend line. Okay, so that's one thing. Another point of contention is my volume aggregation tool here does show sellers staying engaged a little bit longer than the buyers, and obviously that's of concern because you want the buyers more engaged than the sellers. But we are in a consolidation, so it's not a deal breaker. If we start to curl back up in this and the sellers start to curl back down, then that would be a good signature. All right. Another thing is it doesn't quite hit the measured move, doesn't get to the 165, and just kind of rolls over in the middle. That's always tricky to deal with, and you just kind of have to learn how to deal with that. One way to deal with that is if it gets up past, say, 10%, because this is kind of a large move, gets up past 10, maybe 12 to 15%, you can move your stop up to your break-even point. That way, you've given it an opportunity to move up, but you're not giving it an opportunity to take you out, okay? If you put your stop loss at break even if it takes you out, it doesn't hurt you. And that's how you can, maintain a winning edge. All right, so that's a lot to digest on perp. You can go back and watch this video, ask me questions down below, be happy to answer. All right, next up is Unifi. The symbol is UNFI. And this one we did cover earlier in the week, and I wanted to cover it again. All right, so this one you can see right here, we did have a trade for this coming out of this horizontal. Worked pretty well. We broke out. We really didn't come back close to our stop loss point, but the problem is we didn't get to our target either. And this is what I was talking about, that break-even trade, right? So let's go ahead and pull my 75%. And this wasn't quite a measured move, but I don't even think this thing hit 75%. So it got close. This is one of those tough trades, guys. We are in a bearish environment. I do want to remind you of that. Bitcoin isn't running. It is stable, but it's not running, and the alts don't seem to want to move either. So this is probably going to be a majority of long trades, okay? Doesn't even hit my 75%. This one's a tricky one, all right? Trading isn't always super easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat things for you. Trading isn't easy. You have to be able to handle it. In this case, like what I just mentioned, if you move your, say you buy here, you have your stop loss here, you can move your stop loss back up to break even, and at least you're not hurt. This is a situation that can hurt you. It comes all the way down straight through your entry point. So you want to manage these trades effectively, and as it goes up like this, there's another way to take here. As you consolidate and curl up, you can put a stop loss right there, and then your stop, I don't know if it'll let me do that, but yeah, it won't let my stop go above. But what you effectively do is make it a no-lose situation. You're taking 5% out of the trade. It's not the worst thing in the world just to take a 5% gain. A string of 5% gains I'll take over a string of 5% losses any day of the week. So this is just one of those situations where we didn't quite hit one of our targets, but it did kind of work out. So the lesson for today, I guess, is to manage that trade effectively. That is key in trading. Okay, it's sexy to come out here and try to show you trades, but this management will make you successful. That's the difference. So I'm going to be, I do try to talk about all these tactics and all these videos. So do pay attention. It's a small time. I'm trying to teach you guys wisdom. This isn't some fluff video. All right, the thumbnail may suck, the titles may suck, right? But I'm trying to give you good information. Stay with the channel. I'm doing my best to impart wisdom on you guys. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day. Thank you for joining me on Altcoin Buzz Trading. I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. Bye.